Hello and welcome. Today is the first day of September 2019 and the first day of the final month of quarter number three. Yeah, whatever. The year is 2019. All bets, trades, of the like, well, that's within each his own risk and their own reward. Let's start off with BTC.D, or the Bitcoin dominance on the daily term time frame, which we had this high on August the 9th and has been correcting very well within the 18 as it was able to find support here on this day. A little bit of room working within the 18 average of highs and strengthening this level here of resistance. And then it comes back down to the 18 again, retests that same level of resistance, and comes back down to that same 18 average of lows. And back to the highs for 2 days. And just give me a quick little second here. And on your end, that was no time because I just paused the tape, and I'm just doing a quick little day trade there, which I'll explain after or later on in the video after I'm done Bitcoin. And within it, we have on this here the move leaving the 18 average of highs. Interesting day here on August the 28th as it gets above it after leaving this area of support. We can also notice that these days of resistance were supported on the days after it broke out in here. But even larger than that was this level of resistance we can tell is now being supported over the last 4 days as we're seeing a lot of very microscopic volatile movement and strength amongst the 18 average of highs. Within this general area of resistance box in here, that's where we should be breaking out up towards soon. Market's going to do what it's going to do, obviously, but the setup to me here does seem as if this thing is ready for another leg higher. It's been up quite a bit. We had this run from here to this high, great correctionary move, another magnificent move, and another great correctionary move, mainly through time from September the 10th through the start of April, and another great move up. It's overextended and it's going to stop going up at some point. But as we can see it adjusting to the message of the market, and the adjusting and such is 5 periods up, two small consolidation, two small periods up, and three small consolidation. Really a bullish flag type of pattern. So it does look poised as if it's ready for a little bit of another leg move higher. And as we move it on to Bitcoin, I'm going to not show the Fibonacci lines in here just because I'm going to be using this drawing tool. But there's the line up here and there's a line up here. It's just staying within this range. It's obviously still in it via that of the weekly term time frame. It's at the 18 average of lows, not technically, but practically. I mean, there's literally the 18 average of lows. And this is the end of the new week, so it should by the next week, of course. But 92.45 is the lows. We came down to 93.20. This average is pretty much now going to be going flat, as will on both sides, the highs and the lows, as we move forward. And on the monthly chart, we had a completion of the month of August. Very low volatile movement. It was down 4.87%, or down almost $500. Price for the third consecutive month stayed the entire move above the 18 average of highs, and from two mellow volatile up moves, three very good higher volatile up plays, and we've seen that consolidation go through time. We haven't even touched really any of these prices from the May rally. We're just staying the whole from the whole June, July, August has been a summer sideways consolidation, a hair below 10,000 or a hair above 9,000 rather, and really up to 11, 12,000 for the most of it. On the daily chart, we are just spending like a lot of low volatile moves, just hanging in there after the last three candle red moves down, with a little bit of a sideways, just really hanging in there for the most part. You can really say it's holding on to this level of support like a thread right now, and it can continue to hang on to support like a thread as it did big time over this 6,000 throughout the entire year of 2018 until November. It managed to break it down. So, and whenever you have a key level, whenever it breaks, expect it to be like a fast and furious kind of move. As it hasn't broken down, but if it does, having these areas hit pretty fast would not be a surprise. Just like when this happened, this fast and furious move was not a surprise either way. Same thing is true in a break of resistance. It's really two layers of a break now. One, we got this descending or the downtrend line, and then of course where the Fibonacci line not shown is in near the 13,000. So it's got to get above those two layers. In doing so, a fast move would be not a surprise either. And maybe it does make a fast move on a break of this trend line to this line. That could very easily be the case. In fact, more times than not, I see retests of previous key highs. It just seems on most of the time frames they are going to be overextended when they get there. Albeit it's pretty much impossible right now for the weekly to be overextended, because if it gets up to 13,000 like right now, it's not overextended because it'll be just barely above the highs. Moving it on to the 8 hour chart, or the quarter, 1/3 day rather, not quarter day, 6 hour would be quarter. I don't have that available, although I could use it. Just seeing more of this hanging in there. It is within the 18 average, but I mean, for now, you only got to get over these more short term levels in here, as you got this, just this little area in here. So, anyway, that's it with Bitcoin for today. Now let's move on to BNB against the US dollar. The Binance coin, which from its low was at $4, 4 and 4 ninths, making it up to close to 40. Now down to the blackjack 21, barely busting, because when you're 1/3 over, 21 when you play blackjack, you're over. Although you could never be 1/3 over. However, 21.3 is the price amongst it. It has recently just broken by this level of support. If we take a look at some key Fibonacci from these levels, from the key lows, which come in, well, let's just bring this in at 416, and the highs of we'll go 38 3/4. 1652 will represent a 38.2% decline. It has recently gotten down below the 23.6% level, which I find a little interesting. It didn't find support here, so I'm going to be looking at these levels right now with a grain of salt, but I'm not looking at Binance coin with a grain of salt. The next key level is actually 976, but this is just not letting me edit the numbers for whatever reason, so it's one of the close ones. But the BNB coin, of course, is used, of course, in reducing the trading freeze. Maybe one reason why this coin is holding up a lot better than the vast majority of alternate coins. So what I'm thinking about, and what I've started doing, is the daily day trading strategy, which is find a market that you love for the day and day trade it. Sell some of your BNB at the start and place buy orders and sell orders. And then sell everything at the end of the day and repeat the next day. And if I like something like Ethereum for the day, that works out great. Or Bitcoin or the US dollar even as well. Because then I can buy that coin, then find another coin that it's crossed with as well, and then just put buy and sell orders back and forth and then sell them again at the end of the day. And at least see if I can defeat all of my Binance fees, but of course making more on top of that as well. Here we have the BNB crossing against BTC, as it is, having such a phenomenal move from these 2017 lows, still above it. And unlike most coins, it's actually above its 2018 highs against Bitcoin. That is just one phenomenal, interesting aspect upon it. And the coin that I chose for today was the Yuan coin, or the Yuan chain, which I entered in a little under the 1700 number at the start of the morning. Currently in at 1738. I got a seller at 1739. No alert for it, but it looks ready to go. You've seen the one before at 1719. As within this on, well, all that this to me looks good. I see excitation on the daily term time frame amongst the 18. Just a beautiful move to this high, coming back, having this green candle a couple of days ago, the pause in here. So I like this. I like to see that momentum going in. It was just looking like it was breaking it at the 1700 handle when I was entering into. It was a little under 17 that I spent. And here we have the 8-hour term time frame. All of this strength and congestion amongst this 18 average of highs. 3-hour term, it looks like it's ready to break it. And again, I'm trading this extremely short term on the single hour time frame, just waiting for the 18 average to come in. But there we go, a sell order just hit for 7, and it's just even rising up even further. 15-minute chart, there we can see the break of this resistance in here. And 4 minute for me, I got into this 7 o'clock something. I end up buying this low in here. So I bought in at like 1695, 1696. Then I bought more at 1675, sold at 1700, sold at 1719, then I get at sold at 1739, and I should be putting another sell order in really soon, so I'm going to pause this tape now. And to move this to the 1 minute, I've decided on 1769 as my next sell. So what I'll do for this is go like that and see if it activates or not. Okay, that is one of them. So basically, I mean, at any given time, I can say, yeah, this is what I like today, and I'll just change it up for the today. And I could just run out of coins here. I'm almost out of these coins. Not really, but really, because this is all short-term trades. If this gets to like 1830, I'll be done. I mean, I'll sell what I'll look for this to pull back, or I'll look for another trade thereafter that. Anyway, let's move on. What I've done in here is I've got all these different, a bunch of them, not all of them, but the higher volume ones to show the prices of them. But we'll now take a look at just see. Adam is having a good, interesting day, and that was one I was thinking about doing as well. Although I already technically own this one with whatever. I don't want to really add too many coins. I mean, this is getting its ass destroyed. I bought a little bit more of it extra than normal recently, but I'm just barely adding in extra amounts, meaning Bitcoin dominance has a leg higher. That's when I'll go a little more aggressive in it. But amongst the hourly term time frame, having this little 4 o'clock move getting above it back in here, and then the excitation of the 18 average of highs, establishing a level of resistance, that's stage number 2. And reversal of trend stage 1 was the flattening, which of course was the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hours. Next stage 3 is coming back to the 18 average, which is already done. And now getting above around 2200, this thing should have the potential to, well, get some, but probably only a portion of these losses that it has managed to get back. And this is just a single hour term time frame in this major decline. This high is 3,000. This high is near 4,000. And when we look at this on the daily chart, going back to like well, just the open of this was at like 9,000. This isn't that long ago. This is May when this thing started. 9,000. It's already lost about 4 or 5 times its value. That's how the game is played. Whereas coins like Theta, just hanging in there, but low volatile moves right now. Yesterday's session had a high of 1205 and a low of 1159, differential of, well, 41 on the 59 takes it to the top. Plus 5 is 46 basis points. So that was only 4% of volatility in yesterday's session, and it's not off to a great start for today with a differential of price in at only 34 basis points. It's hanging in there. But this coin has done that throughout the entire run. Hasn't been getting its ass kicked really like a lot of the other coins have. Coins like ETC, which is in its situation having resistance established, come back to the bed. If it leaves the 18 average at about 689, 692, that has, or Pandal, of course, it's like 69,000 because it's a 6-digit level we're looking at this. But if it manages to get above it, then don't be surprised if it takes out the 750 high and starts to work in the 800s as its situation. If not, we're looking at a failed breakout. And I want to see failure and weakness amongst the 18 average of lows to signify that that's going to be the case, Right now, that is not the showing, but it very easily can in time. And of course, with what it's lost, you can see that it has been getting its ass kicked from the April high. This thing has went from the 154 to 64, so that's a loss of about 60%, and even more when we encounter the losses from way back in here. But we're talking about 2018 highs when you can say, yep, I'm only down about 5 times. That's almost a compliment, as sick as it may be, but as high volatile as it definitely is, to say such a degree. Now, Bitcoin Cash to quickly finish it off, and it's showing a lot of weakness right now within the 18 average of lows. And if we falter anymore, I'd be looking at this previous twice hit low to be support once again. And when it did have this rally, what was the fact that it didn't resist around 29.87, at least not until now. Got above it is a little bit of a cool sign, but it never has been able to get above this around 31.1 handle or above the 18 highs. And of course, over the last 2-3 days, now showing weakness, has got a lot more short-term levels to get above, as we can see here, just like for example on the hourly time frame, we're seeing just a short-term move that occurred yesterday afternoon as the potential of that failed breakout, because we see it has a nice significant move above the highs after being below it, the lows that is, and then the ascending or symmetrical triangle more than anything. I was going to say ascending triangle, but there's an uptrend line and there's a downtrend line. It has to go to one side or the other, obviously to the downside, showing resistance at this level of support in here for a few periods, which is right in here, and then the move down at 4 o'clock in the morning throughout the night, and now just hanging in there, showing weakness at the lows. And it wasn't that long ago within this coin that I was talking about this resistance at this 50 or so handle in here, and it never did get above it. It showed a lot of potential that it was going to, but this all happened topping when all of the markets were topping. In fact, this topped in April. It tried to get above this during the time when Bitcoin dominance was really getting going, but of course unable to hold in there. And hey, with Bitcoin Cash from its December 2018 highs, it's only down really about half, not even half of its value. And it, of course, made higher levels than that in April of 2019. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin Cash moving forward. One thing I don't like about Bitcoin, notwithstanding, but even withstanding, the the cost of electricity to get the whole Bitcoin system running to be quite excessive. But the transaction fee cost on Bitcoin to me can be very, very large, but extremely volatile to say the least. I bought Binance Coin yesterday, as I mentioned, so I made a small deposit of Bitcoin into it, and it was like 28 cents. It wasn't much, but it can be $28 like that and $30 with these high prices on the Bitcoin, that is. Bitcoin Cash doesn't have those high fees. I think as we move into the future that the Bitcoin Cash is going to do very, very well. So that's why I am holding it and I'm ratio trading it against Theta, DGB, and Litecoin. And amongst my ratios, I mean, not much going on. Oh, Sky goes at 65. Is this anything new? I want to sell. What do I need to do here? What's my alerts say I need to do? Do I even have one on this? No, so not much is going on, at least earlier. My last trade was 67.03. So I guess if it's going to go down, I would want to buy it again somewhere like around 61 or something, like somewhere around here. So I'll just add my alert in. I hope I have enough left. I do. I'm still limited to how many I have. I have the second best package, I think it is, the Pro. The Pro, whatever. It's the one that might be the third worst, second best one, or there's 4 rankings. I think it's the third ranked one. All right. Anyway, I like just having these ratios, and I want to show Bitcoin Cash. That was the whole point of what I wanted to show in here. So Bitcoin Cash against Litecoin, the ratio is 4.28. Looking at this on a daily term time frame, I had drawn in this symmetricalness, which is obviously broken it to the uptrend, clearly doing so here roughly around this point, and it's been a concise move ever since. Bitcoin Cash against Theta, well, not doing quite as well, as there's the little area. If it goes below here, I'm going to be buying. If it goes above there, I'm going to be selling. It's just the basics upon it, but really just in the sideways range more than anything. I'm just looking for whatever nice little moves I can. We can see here going from 700 to like 4,300. I'll just play whatever the volatility that I can get. And Bitcoin Cash against DGB, having this flash move in here, but in at 33,000. I guess one easy way I can do it is go like this and then like that. But we can see in here that before this was like 10,000 up to 30,000. Bitcoin Cash is nowhere near as volatile of a coin, but it's more of a long-term hold play for me, so I might as well trade it with whatever else, and those whatever else are the three you've seen. Of course, I like the Litecoin Theta as one of my favorites, if not the favorite. As within this, we've had this ratio go from about 1100 down to 5 and 3/4 now. Had the lower points of around 300 in here. Intraday movement on November the 30th at around a little over 200. And two coins that I really want to hold for the long term. So I have no choice. To me, I have no choice on how I'm trading for me to even trade this together because it'd be I think dumb for me not to. And we're going to finish it off with it silver. The market's closed. And it has been closed for over a day and a half now. I got less than a half a day to go before it will reopen. I don't think this will stay forever like this. I believe that there'll be coming a time where gold and silver will trade on the weekends and even on holidays for that matter. Time, of course, will only tell, but I believe the day and age of having closed markets on the weekends and even throughout the day, like after like a bit store would close. It's not like how likely is it to go to Amazon and it's Saturday, we're closed. Well, it's 9 p.m. at night, 10 p.m., 3 in the morning, we're closed. No. On an electronic world, especially in a global world like this, where you have people living in North America and people living in Europe and Japan and Asia Pacific and all these different areas in the world. And the fact of a weekend, like, what's the big deal? Just let the markets trade really every single day. That's how I believe it should be, and I think it will. But to me, it's just such an outdated to have the way it is, as it is, where we just close the market Friday afternoon and open it up on Sunday night. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.